What is going on in the world? Welcome back, ladies and gents. I don't know if it's a good welcome back. However, like, comment, and subscribe. Everybody, you are going to want to know what is going on. There has been an emergency declared. Okay, President Putin has been attacked. Apparently, President Putin has been attacked, and he says that it is Ukraine. Now, when he says Ukraine, what we have to understand is that Ukraine is basically NATO. Okay, they're trying to get Ukraine as part of them, and the Western powers are giving Ukraine weapons to fight this war. NATO are giving Ukraine weapons to fight this war against Russia. So essentially, Russia has been attacked by Western powers. Now, I don't know what the response would be, but I'm gonna try and make you guys understand. If a drone was to attack the White House, what do you think the response would be? If a drone was to attack Buckingham Palace in the UK or 10 Downing Street, what do you think the response would be? Exactly. I actually believe there's going to be a response by Putin, and I'm not saying what the response is going to be because I don't know. I can't predict the future, but Putin is not somebody to play around with. He's not somebody to do this with. And you know, some people are saying that Putin done this himself to start a war. Now, in these days and times, because both sides are, I guess, pushing out their propaganda, the normal person like you and I actually don't know what to make of what is actually going on. We don't know what to make of it. And so we sit here listening to the news from each side, and we have to wonder to ourselves, who's telling the truth? Who's telling the lie? Do we actually know? There was a time where living in the West, you would believe your government and everything that comes onto the news cycle when it comes to them. But at this point in time, I don't believe a lot of people are watching the news believing what is actually going on. I believe a lot of people are watching the news and they think, you know what, everyone has an agenda here, and who is telling the truth? Now, let's see what the BBC actually reported when this attack happened.
Russia claims that Ukraine tried to kill Vladimir Putin in the early hours of Wednesday. This is the first video we have. It's in Moscow. We see an object fly in from the left and explode. Now, let's play it again and pause here. We know this is Moscow because this is Red Square. Here's a recent picture of the same place, with the Kremlin wall in the background and stands for next week's victory parade. You can see those stands in the video too, meaning it's also recent. And if we play the video on and pause again, there's the object flying towards the dome of the Senate Palace. Moments before it explodes, we can see people on the dome. We don't know who they are or what they're doing. Now, Russia says it was attacked by 2 unmanned aerial vehicles, in other words, drones. We can't confirm that. And if that's one video, here are 3 more. This is a map of Russia with Moscow in the west, and all of these videos show this part of the city. Here's the second. The BBC's verification team has confirmed it was posted at 3:16 Moscow time on Wednesday morning. We see the same dome with smoke rising from it. The words are the name of a local Telegram channel that posted the video. This next video shows the Senate Palace dome with fire clearly visible, and then this shows an object flying in from the right. Again, we see an explosion. Russia says all of this was a planned terrorist act and an assassination attempt on the president, but has provided no evidence to back that up. Ukraine says it's all staged by Russia. As for Vladimir Putin, the Kremlin says he wasn't there at the time of the incident. And these pictures from Reuters on Wednesday show the dome looking undamaged. And while we try and work out what exactly it is these videos show, both sides say the other carried it out.
So, who's telling the truth? Apparently, President Putin wasn't actually around when the attack happened, so he was unharmed, apparently. But the fact that there was an attack, we have to be very careful nowadays as to understanding what is a truth and what isn't, and who to believe and who isn't. And we do live in very interesting times where we don't know, like I said, who to believe. And so President Putin is claiming it's Ukraine. However, the Ukraine are claiming that it wasn't them.
We don't attack Putin or Moscow. We fight on our territory. We are defending our villages and cities. We don't have, enough weapon for this. That's why we don't use it anywhere. For us, that is the deficit. We can't spend it. And we didn't attack Putin. We leave it to tribunal.
Now, you can agree or disagree with me, but there's something about Zelensky that I actually don't necessarily trust. There's something about him that's a little bit slimy to me, but that's just me as a personal opinion. I'm just trying to report exactly what's going on, but in my personal opinion, there's something not right about this, because we've known throughout history that CIA have performed coups. They've galvanized people with certain nations with weapons, and funded wars and this kind of stuff. And the research on this kind of stuff can be found, specifically when it comes to Africa. There was a president by the name of Patrice Lumumba who was overthrown by the CIA by one of his own people, right? So the West has been known to start some stuff, to throw a rock and hide their hand, okay? And so in this instance, we actually don't know who threw the rock and who's hiding their hand. Could it be Russia attacking themselves? Could be. Could it be NATO and Ukraine and the West attacking Russia? Could be. What do you think? I know what I think, but what do you think? So thank you all for joining me today. This is breaking news. I'm telling you guys, you really do need to ask yourselves what is going on in the world, because we currently live in a time where we just don't know. There are some things we do know, some things we don't, some things we question, and at this point in time, we need to question everything. This has been Sa Ra Garvey. Listen, I'ma catch you on the flip side.